Hiya, this is Simon, and I thought I would do a short video on the market in general. You know, there's lots of headlines coming out on a daily basis at the moment. I heard the Bank of England say that the house prices could go down 25-30% if a no-deal Brexit happens. Then I read an article yesterday saying that the housing market will sort of flatline for a period and it will bounce when the Brexit vote happens, whatever way it goes. So if you're confused, I don't blame you. And reality is that at the moment, Brexit is all you ever hear. Brexit. I mean, they should call it board it. You know, I'm bored of it. But the point is, if you're on the market, this is 7 months away. So if you're on the market, people need to make decisions. So what I thought, from the streets of North Herts, I will give you my overview of what's happening at the moment. So it may help you make a decision or understand what's happening in terms of your own negotiations with regard to property prices. The fact is, at the moment, over the last few weeks, the buying levels have reduced. There are not as many buyers as there were, and there is 30% more stock than there was on the market 12 months ago. So there's a lot of choice. And the problem with having a lot of choice and buying levels not having changed too much in terms of active buyers out there, because there are buyers on the market. The thing is, they have choice now. So whereas you're 18 months ago, maybe if you put a property on the market, there was 3 buyers to the property, it pushes prices up. If you end up with a situation where you've got now 3 houses to a buyer, it doesn't push property prices up. It starts to make property prices come down. So all I would say to you is that you might want to test the market, go on at a price where you test the market and see, because sometimes your property can be a little bit unique, a little bit different. So you put it on and you have a go. With a couple of weeks, your agent should be able to tell you, look, you know, the viewing levels, there's been no viewings, or the viewing levels have been not a lot. Maybe your Rightmove statistics in terms of how many people are looking at it isn't a lot. So maybe it's the time that we do need to adjust the price. Now, I saw someone this week, and they were on the market, been on for 6 months, 7 months, at 440. And I said to them, look, realistically, if you want to get a buyer, you need to drop the price to 400. And they were like, that is ridiculous. They thought I was going crazy. And I said, well, realistically, you need to look cheap. But the point is that you can just sit around, you waited 7 months, and they're like, well, you can't tell me the housing market's gone down 10% because I was getting offers at 430 7 months ago. And I'm like, look, I'm really sorry, but the market has changed. The market is changing. And if you want to get moving, you need to be realistic with your price. So if you reduce, you look cheaper than the other 28 properties within a quarter-mile radius, which you're pretty much up against, because that is how many are on the market in terms of what you're marketed against. So you need to look with this, the active buyers that are out there. You need to look and think, well, there's some big value in that, because that's going at 400, whereas the others are 440, and you know, this is a bargain. The point is, you're looking to upsize to 700, so the person you're buying from is going to have to reduce their price, and it's across the board, whether you've got a flat, whether you've got a house, or whatever. So if he's 700 and he has to reduce it to maybe 640 to get a buyer, which he's going to probably have to do, then you're gaining, because you'll say, yeah, you've got to take a hit on yours, but he's taking a hit bigger because you're going upsize. If you're just looking at selling at 400 and buying at 400, it's the same. The person over here needs to do the same. So in effect, the transaction level will be no different. You're losing here, but you're gaining here. Obviously, if you're downsizing, you're going to lose a bit. But if you're still in the housing market, long-term property prices have shown that they well in excess of probably any losses that will be occurred. And if you're coming off the market, then you need to make a decision, because if the general consensus is that there's more stock coming on than buyers, and you're needing to drop prices in order to sell, I can't tell you how much further that will go. And if this Brexit thing is going on, then Are people all waiting for that? We don't know. But there's so much media attention that these things can cause people to just sit and wait or not do anything, or say, well, we'll leave that till middle of next year when Brexit happens. So what I would say is that you will, if you're in a market where you want to get moving, the person that you're moving to has to do what you're doing. Realistically, unless they've got something totally unique, or unless their property is already so well priced that the value is already there. So be competitive in terms of what you're up against, and in that sense, dropping prices is the only way. Otherwise, you're holding out for a lot of disappointment. If you've been on a long time, you can be on a hell of a lot longer. And ask your agent what is going on with your particular property in terms of Rightmove, how many viewings you're getting, and realistically, if they have presented it well, if it's on Rightmove, Zoopla, and social media has been hit with your property, you've got professional photos, it looks amazing. If they've done their job in that sense of marketing, they've done as much as they can do for you. The market now is telling you what you need to do with your price. So consider that. And if the agent hasn't done those things I just said, then you need to consider whether you're the right agent. But in general, they should be able to statistically tell you what's going on. Then you can make a good decision in terms of what pricing should you go down to or get down to in order for you to get a buyer, which means you can go over here and do the same thing, because they all need to do the same thing. All right. If you need any advice or got any questions, feel free to give me a call. 0774 259 065, and I'll happily speak to you. Okay, and speak to you soon.